শিরোনাম জানাচ্ছিলাম, চলে যাচ্ছি বিস্তারিত খবরে। বাংলাদেশ ভারতের মধ্যে বাণিজ্যে অশুল্ক বাধা দূর, তথ্য যোগাযোগে সহায়তা ও দুর্যোগ মোকাবেলা সহ 5টি সমঝোতা স্মারক সই হয়েছে। সন্ধ্যায় প্রধানমন্ত্রী শেখ হাসিনা ও ভারতের প্রধানমন্ত্রী নরেন্দ্র মোদীর উপস্থিতিতে এসব সমঝোতা হয়। পরে ঢাকা জলপাইগুড়ি ট্রেন চলাচল সহ 4টি উন্নয়ন প্রকল্প উদ্বোধন করেন দুই প্রধানমন্ত্রী। এর আগে দ্বিপাক্ষিক বৈঠকে বসেন দুই সরকার প্রধান। এতে পারস্পরিক স্বার্থ সংশ্লিষ্ট নানা বিষয়ে কথা বলেন তারা। বিকাল 5টার দিকে প্রধানমন্ত্রী কার্যালয়ে পৌঁছালে নরেন্দ্র মোদীকে স্বাগত জানান শেখ হাসিনা। এখান থেকে বঙ্গভবনে যাবেন ভারতের প্রধানমন্ত্রী। সেখানে রাষ্ট্রপতি মোহাম্মদ আব্দুল হামিদের সঙ্গে সৌজন্য সাক্ষাৎ শেষে দিল্লির উদ্দেশ্যে ঢাকা ছাড়বেন রাত 9টায়। বঙ্গবন্ধুর জন্মশতবার্ষিকী ও স্বাধীনতার সুবর্ণ জয়ন্তীতে শুক্রবার 2 দিনের সফরে বাংলাদেশে আসেন প্রধানমন্ত্রী নরেন্দ্র মোদী।
Members of the 14-party alliance, opposition party, youth icons and valiant Mukti Jodhas. The Foreign Minister of Bangladesh, Dr. A.K. Abdul Momen, called on the Prime Minister later during the day. The Prime Minister attended the National Day celebration of Bangladesh as the guest of honor. This was a profound recognition of India's role in the liberation war and also of the special ties we share with Bangladesh. During his speech, the Prime Minister paid respect to the father of the nation of Bangladesh and countless Bangladeshis and Indians who had laid down their lives in the liberation struggle. There was a lot of emphasis on the fact that we are both young nations, we have young populations. In that context, there was a lot of focus on how we can cooperate on youth-related affairs. It is in this context that the Prime Minister announced a grant of 1,000 Suvarna Jayanti scholarships for youth to study in India. He also invited 50 young entrepreneurs from Bangladesh to visit India and present their ideas to venture capitalists. Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina, in her speech at the National Day, and of course the speech was telecast live, so you would know, but just to recap, recalled the role of the people and government of India in the evolution process of Bangladesh. And I quote her, "Self-sacrifice, support and cooperation of the people of India during the liberation war will never be forgotten," unquote. She lauded the neighborhood first policy of Prime Minister Modi and said that India sending COVID vaccines to its neighbors was a reflection of that policy. Bangabandhu's daughter, Sheikh Rehana, and Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina received the Gandhi Peace Prize, which was conferred posthumously on Sheikh Mujibur Rahman by the Prime Minister of India. As a mark of admiration that India has for Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, the renowned Hindustani classical vocalist Pandit Ajoy Chakraborty created a special rag dedicated to Bangabandhu, Rag Maitri, at the National Day event. Later, both the Prime Ministers inaugurated the Bangladesh leg of the Bangabandhu Bapu digital exhibition. Apart from displaying uniquely researched historic photographs and commonalities in the lives of these great leaders, this exhibition also showcases perhaps the only photo that has both Bangabandhu and Bapu in one frame. We plan to take this exhibition to many countries, and again, this was discussed in the last meeting that the Prime Minister and both the Prime Ministers had just a short while ago, and we decided that both countries would jointly also take it to the United Nations as part of our shared commitment to world peace and against oppression. Thereafter, Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina hosted a banquet in honor of Prime Minister Modi. This morning, Prime Minister Modi visited Satkhira and offered prayers at the Dashwareshwari Kali temple, one of the 51 Shakti Peeths in the Puranic tradition. During his visit, he also announced a grant for the construction of a cyclone shelter cum community center in Satkhira. It's a cyclone shelter cum community center because when it is not used as a cyclone shelter, which we hope will be very rare, it will be used as a community center for the benefit of those communities that are there. This is, of course, the cyclone-prone area of Bangladesh. The next visit of the Prime Minister was to the Bangabandhu Mausoleum complex in Tungipara, where he was received by Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina and Sheikh Rihanna. And again, this was conveyed in the meeting where we just came out of, where I think Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina said that Prime Minister Modi was the first head of government to pay his respects to Bangabandhu at his mausoleum in Tungipara. In other words, the first foreign high dignitary to visit Tungipara in person. In Orakhandi, which the Prime Minister visited thereafter, he met representatives of the Matua community. During his last visit, I think you would recall in 2015, the Prime Minister had expressed interest to visit Thakurbadi of this community, and he was therefore happy that he could do it this time. The Prime Minister announced plans to support upgradation of a middle school for girls and the construction of a primary school in the Orakhandi area in cooperation with the local government authorities. Now, with regard to the bilateral discussions, this evening and just before we have come here, we have held extensive, restricted format discussions and delegation level talks. This allowed the two Prime Ministers to take stock of progress in various areas, different diverse areas in which we cooperate. This included some discussions on how we could preserve the legacy and spirit of 1971, commerce and connectivity, cooperation in water resources, security, defense, power and energy, and new areas like artificial intelligence, environment, societal applications of nuclear energy, etc. Lots of different areas, but also new areas, which is very important in our what our Prime Minister called Nayi Urja, Nayi Gati, new energy, new path. Significant decisions were also taken during this special year, like the establishment of the Bangabandhu Chair in Delhi University, renaming the Bangladesh segment of the road Shadinota Sharak, the road in which the senior leadership of Bangladesh travelled to take the oath at Mujibnagar during the liberation struggle in 1971. It's a very historic, famous event which both our countries shared very, very intimately. The Prime Minister also proposed that there should be, that India and Bangladesh should organize a business exhibition which he referred to as the best of India, best of Bangladesh during this very special year. So we see a lot of emphasis again on youth, on business, on connectivity, and of course on the spirit of 1971, which is always there. Both Prime Ministers jointly unveiled the stamps that were respectively issued by the postal departments of our countries on this to mark this momentous occasion. They decided to celebrate the 6th of December, the day on which India formally recognized Bangladesh as Maitri Diwas. The Prime Minister thanked Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina for erecting a war memorial in Bangladesh in Ashuganj, Brahmanbadia district, in recognition of the contribution of Indian soldiers who were martyred during the liberation war of Bangladesh. Both Prime Ministers also laid a foundation stone for Bangladesh's proposal to construct a memorial in their honor, the memorial that I referred to for Indian soldiers. A decision was also taken to celebrate our ties jointly in 19 countries, 19 countries identified by the two sides. And this is our desire, this is a reflection of our desire to sustain the legacy of 1971. In terms of the inauguration of different projects, as we know, from time to time the two Prime Ministers have been inaugurating a number of projects, including last December when there was a virtual summit. It also illustrates the level of our cooperation and the successful evolution of the development partnership between our two countries. In this